Well, good morning. This is Gary Max, and you're listening to Talking to the Max, brought to you by Jewish Care. I want to introduce you to a special program that's run out of Jewish Care, and it's called Tech, Tea and Tales. Really, it's about passionate, tech-savvy young people who are teaching older residents at St Kilda Road, Jewish Care's St Kilda Road, Montefiore homes, to how to use digital devices, and some of them are also recording their histories. It's simply on an iPhone using its video facilities. And look, first I chatted with Sophie Weldon, and she runs a company called Humankind Enterprises, and she explained the program to us. So let's listen to what Sophie had to say about the program and how it runs. And this morning I am at Jewish Care in St Kilda Road, and I'm talking first with Sophie Weldon, who runs the Tech, Tea and Tales program. In particular, today we're looking at the component called StoryPod. What happens here, Sophie? What's this meant to do?
So this is all about the power of storytelling and the capacity that older people have to share rich wisdom and life stories that we have so much to learn from. Mm-hmm. Often older people's stories are, sometimes lost and forgotten, and it's, really important in our view to really value older generations and, the rich experience that they come from.
Okay, and there's a challenge here, I guess, because we've got young people doing this, talking with old people, most of whom, I guess, are from some sort of European background. So there might be a language issue as well as I'd like to get onto the technology issue.
Yeah, well,
that's a challenge, isn't it, the technology?
Definitely, but it's interesting that the older residents actually love the technology. We record stories via smartphone using small tripods and just small microphones, so it's not really obtrusive technology. It's very sort of simple.
So are you filming and recording sound?
We're filming, video and sound.
Right.
So they actually like having the camera set up. They sit down, they're like, okay, when are you setting it up? They expect right. To be filmed now during the sessions, which is good. They don't feel threatened by it at all, and that's really the primary focus of this program, is about creating connections and making them feel valued and heard. Mm-hmm. It's not about the story at the end of it, although that is also important for their friends and family as an archive to have and a memory of them. But we want the older resident to feel really comfortable and heard, and just like they have ability to think of their not only the challenges in their life, but also the strengths and successes they've experienced. Sure.
So they're actually recording a life story, and are they getting a package of that at the end?
Yes, exactly.
In what sort of format? Most of them won't have a computer or an iPad to use it for.
Exactly. Well, we're wanting to create a digital archive, not necessarily that follows their chronological life, because although some of the residents, like one gentleman named Bernie, he's told his life story from when he was born to now in a very orderly fashion.
Right.
But
well organised.
Most people are sharing snippets or themes of their life.
Sure.
And those, which is the way our mind remembers things anyway, in sort of reference points. So we're going to edit together shorter videos of those different snippets and themes, and then their family can sort of watch them, for example, childhood or faith, these big key themes that come up, they in themselves are sort of, like 10 to 15 minutes of video footage that will be that chapter, and there'll be different video chapters.
And are their families sometimes involved in the storytelling? Do they come in for it as well?
Not for this particular program, although they do reference obviously their family a lot, and we take video footage of the photos that they have in their room with a few short cutaways. But the focus of this, because it's not a high production, it's really just about capturing their expressions and their memories, and also their reflections about, it might be life advice they have for future generations. So it's not all past stories, but also thinking about, their values and their hopes for the future as well.
Okay. And what sort of training do your staff get? Because they're meeting people, some people have had quite a few maybe have had a Holocaust experience as well, so there might be some pretty confronting stuff coming out.
Absolutely, and one of our young tech and story helpers is Jewish young lady with a Russian background, so she studied and has grandparents that have been involved in that history as well. So it's different for her than our other young tech and story helper who hasn't been exposed to that.
Yeah.
And they're supporting each other. In the training, we ran a whole training program that really did cover the challenges of working with older people from different backgrounds and their histories, and ways to support their well-being and also the residents, because that's our main aim with all this.
Because there might be some teary moments for both of them, I guess.
Yeah, and there's those positive attachments as well, but it's you're getting a doorway into someone's life. There's one beautiful resident here called Ruby, who's 96, and her husband was living here as well with her, and he lived to 100, and
wow.
Her story of their love story, she was very teary, and Riley also got quite emotional listening to that.
Of course.
It's heartbreaking.
It's called empathy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But through that, they really connected, and that, she's now sort of Riley's, don't tell any of the other residents, but favourite resident, because they just have gone through that process together. Okay,
and your tech team, what do they normally do? What do they do in their daily life apart from doing this?
So actually all the young people that we had 60 applications for this role. There was a lot of interest.
Wow, that is a lot.
And we selected 2, and all the applicants were genuine job seekers. So
right.
We choose to target young people who have a particular interest in connecting with older people, because that's the primary aim. They have to care about that.
Yeah.
But also they don't have to have any necessary previous job experience, but they have to have an interest in using technology as a tool for connection.
Right.
So, young people are criticised as the selfie generation, but a lot of them are actually curious about the outside world and things outside of them.
Yeah.
So that's sort of one of the main things, is curiosity about others and the world, and also an understanding of what it takes to work with older people. But they don't have to necessarily have aged care experience to have that.
Right.
For some of them, it's about having a step in the door to see if aged care is really what they want for the future, which is great, because not many
absolutely
people
gives them an experience. And how long is the program running?
So it's 6 weeks.
Right.
We had a meet and greet prior to the program for the residents and the young people to meet, which was really nice. And then we've got the 6-week program at the end. Then we're going to have a community celebration event where we'll show some of the stories, and also have a probably sad goodbye.
Yes.
But yeah, for the young people, we hope that they'll continue through other pathways and potentially even further training with Jewish Care.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And how many residents are taking part?
16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 interviewers, 16 residents.
Yeah.
Okay. And are the residents learning some computer skills or device skills as they go through the program as well?
Yeah, so it's called Tech Teen Tales, because we want to give them the option of being able to learn new skills that will help them connect, whether that's talking to their family and friends on Skype, whether it's looking at their village they grew up in on Google Earth, like those things that we take for granted that we can so easily do, and that can also help our reminiscence about our life. So there's been 3 residents here of the 16 that have nominated for the tech help.
Okay.
A lot of them haven't been interested, I think, because they just, they feel
it's
like
challenging.
And at Jewish Care, I mean, it's an amazing facility. There's events all the time going on, and it's very busy. They've got a busy social life.
Absolutely, there's always something to do here.
Yeah. So I think some of them don't feel they need it, but for some, like Jane, who you'll be speaking to shortly, she just loves the idea of being able to connect with her family on Facebook and things that she hasn't been able to do.
So she's on Facebook.
I think they're setting that up for her. Yeah.
How old is she?
Jane is, I think she's. Do you know how old Jane is?
She's turning 90 this year.
90.
Wow.
She's turning 90, and she's about to learn about Facebook.
Yeah.
That's
Jane.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know. So the others all said that they want to do stories, and just seeing them even at the meet and greet, the energy in the room, and they
want to tell their story.
Yeah, and they really feel grateful that people are interested in them.
Absolutely. So the product at the end, what's the product at the end? What are you going to do with that?
So we want to...
Because it's a fantastic, compilation of stories.
Yeah, and we want to supply them to the Jewish Care family so that they can share them within their community networks, within the Jewish community, because there's so much wisdom and history sitting in this building. It's just a shame for people not to know what exists here. So for some people who don't want to share the stories, that's absolutely fine, and we don't want to put pressure on that.
So they can have a personal story recorded for their family and just use it that way, just privately.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But you do have a public product that's
Yeah.
a potential public product too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something, again, like you don't have to be from the same life experience to really connect with a bit of wisdom from an older person. A lot of the older people say our body's old, we're in our 90s, but our heart is still young.
Of course.
And there's something eternally relevant to their stories and their wisdom. I just think everyone can learn something from it.
And that was Sophie Walton, who actually runs this program, and just telling us a little bit of the background of how the program works and how it started. So after I spoke with Sophie, we dropped in on a couple of the sessions, the live sessions, and the first was with Mila, an 87-year-old lady from the Ukraine, who was delighted to share her life story with Natalie, and they were recording this all on iPhone. Let's hear how we dropped in on this interview. All right, now we are with Mila, who is telling Natalie her life story, and it's all being recorded on iPhone, which is quite amazing. How do you feel about telling your story?
Exciting. I feel very good, and I'm very excited because I just remind all my story from my childhood, from my school, from my university, from my wedding, from my life from Second World War, where we have been, how we suffered in that war.
Where were you born, Mila?
Where and when? I born in very small village. It's called Talnoye. And then when I was 9 months, my parents moved to Odessa.
Odessa, so this is Ukraine.
So, yes, Ukraine on the Black Sea. Very nice town, resort. And all my life, I lived there in Odessa. All my life, from 9 months.
Okay,
Yes.
and then you've come to Australia after the war.
No, after the war. After the war, we re-immigrated to Odessa. Somebody called, and I found my flat apartment where I live in the center of Odessa, the main street we live. I found destroyed by bomb. Nothing left.
Wow.
Yes.
How do you feel about telling your story to a camera and to this lovely young lady here?
Oh, she's magnificent. Natalie is magnificent.
That's good.
She's so good interviewer. Yeah.
And you're happy telling your story?
Yes.
Because it's a hard thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Have you told your story before to anyone?
No, just in my mind I keep.
Right. And your family?
Some maybe friends.
Yes.
Yes, my daughter. She knows everything.
She knows your story, yes.
Yeah.
But this is nice to be able to tell that story.
Yes, of course.
and then you'll see what it looks like at the end, and you can share that with friends and family.
Yes, of course, yes. It's very exciting to share with somebody my story.
Of course. How big is your family?
What?
How big is your family? How many people?
How many people? I have one daughter, Eleanor Mancini. She played in Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, finished Moscow Conservatory as violinist.
Wow.
And one granddaughter finished Ramati as journalist. Now she business communication, work as business communication. And I have two great children.
Wow.
Sophia and Isaac.
Well, that's lovely because you're leaving your story for them in a lovely form that they can all look at it.
Yes.
That's very good. I hope you're enjoying it.
Yes, of course, I enjoy it.
Thank you for talking to us, Mila.
Pleasure, my
All
pleasure.
the best. And Natalie, thank you. Are you enjoying the process, by the way?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
It's an incredible experience. Absolutely. There's so much to learn from Mila as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're sharing a lot of things.
Exactly. And she's such a beautiful woman. So it's so humbling to learn from her and hear all her stories.
Very nice. Well, thank you both for letting me interrupt you.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it because it's really important to understand exactly what is going on, and we can feel a nice sense of warmth going on in the room between you. So I really appreciate that letting us in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
You're listening to Talking to the Max on 87.8 FM and streaming live on www.j-air.com.au, your Jewish community radio station. Don't forget to go online, become a member, support your Jewish community radio station. And we're in the middle of a program I recorded the other day when I dropped in at Jewish Care on a program called Tech Tea. I've already lost the name, Tech Tea and Tales, which involves really young, tech-savvy people interviewing some of the old age care facilities residents or teaching them how to use devices. And next we visited Jane Lothringer, and Riley Gentle is teaching her to use an iPad, the first computer experience in Jane's 90 years. So let's hear from Jane. Okay, now I'm with Jane Lothringer. Did I pronounce your name right?
Not
Lothring.
No E.
Loth-
L-O-T-H, no E.
No E.
L-O-T-H-R-I-N-G-E-R.
Lothringer.
I have to find my husband's family history
Okay.
on the wall.
On the wall? Okay. And also with her tech support, Riley.
Yes.
And at the moment, it looks like you're learning how to use the iPad.
I beg your pardon?
You're learning how to use the iPad?
Yes.
And do you like it?
So far, so good.
What do you do with it?
Well, I've only done what Riley's taught me.
Okay.
You know, look where I lived in Shepherd's Bush.
All right.
So you've looked on
What, Google Earth?
Yeah.
All right.
You could look up at
We saw
hometown,
it.
primary school.
Your home's still there?
Yeah, still around.
Wow. Fantastic. And how long have you been in Australia?
Well, I'll be 90. You may as well say I am.
You're 90?
And we landed here in January 1940.
1940. Right. Wow. That's a while ago. So you are as you say,
I'm an oi.
you're an oi. You're an
My children
Aussie.
were born here, my grandchildren,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So tell me what you're doing on the iPad.
Pardon me?
Tell me some of the things that you're doing on the iPad.
Well,
Are you
look-
communicating with people? Are you?
Not so far. I haven't communicated, except the school I went to. But people, I mean, a lot of them wouldn't be alive, Gary.
Right.
No, I haven't got that far yet, like
Okay.
communication.
Okay. But I did hear that you're setting up a Facebook page.
No, we haven't got that far
Not
yet.
yet.
No.
Not
I
yet.
Slowly,
suggested it.
Of
catchy
course.
monkey,
Yeah.
You know,
Of course.
I'm in no hurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just been looking at the internet with her and just sort of explaining how it works.
Right.
We looked up some of her family history, didn't
Absolutely
we?
ignorant. I'd never been on a computer. I was a touch typist, a
Right.
stenographer.
In the days when
Big-
people used typewriters.
Yeah,
Yes.
a Remington.
Yes, I remember
yeah,
them.
Put in new ribbon.
Yes, that's right.
And I still know the keyboard.
Right. Yeah, but you didn't know what all this can do.
No, I left it to my grandchildren. Yeah. No, but I'd like to know that I have gained knowledge before I pass on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you can gain a lot of knowledge.
Every day, I've always said this, is a day of learning, if you're prepared to learn.
Yeah,
And I like learning.
that's fantastic. Thanks very much for talking to us today,
It's a
both of you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
But you should have told.
Well, that was a marvellous experience. I think the big takeaway from me, though, was the tremendous warmth generated between the older students. Sorry, between the older students and their youthful teachers reaching out smoothly across generations and cultural backgrounds. It was fantastic.